all good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice.
So how is the lockdown treating you guys? Is it making you more creative or less creative?
Um, I mean, for me, I've been super busy, but I'm not sure how creative really I've been in creating new things. I think a lot of kind of musicians have found that, it's kind of pulling them down in some ways. But yeah, there's definitely the time to be creative. Myself, I've been a little bit, but maybe not as much as like normal times. But luckily, we had all the creative stuff, already done before we recorded the album.
Yeah.
So that was lucky for us. But yeah, not massively. What about you, Vinny?
To be honest, I just became a father this lockdown. So
All right.
yeah,
Congratulations.
for me, it's kind of life changing. It's just caring about the baby, my life, and yeah, it's not too much time, free time to be creative about
Yeah.
music for now. So yeah,
Just creative nappy changing.
yeah.
So when you go into the studio, do you guys disagree on a lot of things? And who has the final say if you do disagree on certain things?
You know what? Like a lot of the kind of outlines for the songs were already kind of completed to a certain extent before we go into the studio. So
Yeah.
like for the last year and maybe year and a half, probably our whole time, being in the band, we've been writing stuff on the side when we're touring or when we're at home in between touring or festivals or whatever. So it's been already eliminating stuff that doesn't sound like quite to the standard of what we want to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get into the studio as well, we had an amazing producer this time called Ramesh Dodingoda on with us. And basically he is the final say in what goes and what doesn't, him and Nathan.
Yeah.
So, if something doesn't sound good that we've added, then it's going to be ironed out, like no problem,
Yeah.
which is really cool because it gives you the kind of freedom to just kind of be creative as possible and free as possible with our instruments. And it just means that, everything gets ironed out in the end anyway. So yeah, as far as disagreeing goes, we're not necessarily, we're not falling out over anything. However, just in music, sometimes you get disagreements and you weigh up the pros and cons, which is better and which is worse. And that seemed to have happened, not loads, but a few times, and they were ironed out really nicely.
Yeah. So when should we expect to hear something off the new album?
I don't think we're allowed to say, actually.
Okay.
But we can say it's pretty soon. We have an announcement on the page on Friday, and that is to do with the album. So you can tune in on Friday. I don't know when this is going to be put out, but yeah, there's going to be some stuff on the page. The best thing to do is just follow the Inglorious social media, because from there you can follow what's going on. But soon, but we're not really allowed to say. So hopefully everyone can be at peace when it all comes out.
So do you all live quite far apart from each other then? Do you find that difficult when working together?
Vinny, do you want to answer this one?
No, that's fine. Actually, I think the whole band just moved for the same area now in Midlands, actually, me, Danny, and Phil. So yeah, for us actually, it's quite far sometimes to meet everyone, and but I don't think it's a problem, because actually we are expecting to meet each other because we are missing each other. We're missing this time to be in a group, to play, to hang out, to chat, and yeah. But when you actually, because this band is quite really friendly with each other, I think there's no far distance, you know, to get all together. So I think it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not far.
Yeah, that's good. So what is the best show that you guys have played?
I mean, for me, I don't know, like, I think for me it's between Shepherd's Bush Empire in London that we actually headlined, which was amazing. There's, you know, it was a full house pretty much, and it was a wicked gig. And that for me was like magical. It was just like, wow, some of the people that you grow up being your heroes, you know, stood in the same place. But at the same time, for me and Vinnie, it was our first tour as well with the band. So, you know, there's also that pressure, that extreme pressure of like, you know, there's people here that have no idea who you are, and they're wondering, why are you on that stage? You know, why are you with these guys? So there's that pressure as well. So that's got to be up there. But I think Grass Pop, Metal Meeting, main stage on, I think it was a Sunday, that has to take the lead for me, just because in a way there was less pressure, because some of the people, well, a lot of the people in the crowd weren't there just to see Inglorious, and there's not that pressure of who are these guys, you know. So in that sense it was more fun as well. But it's between those two for me. I'm not sure about Vinnie. What would you say?
Yeah, I think for me it was about festivals. Grass Pop blew my mind, you know, to cross path behind the scenes with Paul Stanley, you know, and another musicians that are really big fan, you know, just like blow my mind. It's just like, oh my God, oh, and to hang with these guys as well. And Rambling Man for me was a really, really good festival as well. So I think I love to play actually on Shepherd's Bush Empire and the other venues like the Robin, and but I think the festivals was really, really the high point in my life actually to play. Yeah, it was really, really nice vibe as well. Yeah.
So did you guys join the band at the same time, and how did that come about?
Yeah, we pretty much joined at the same time. For me, it came about because I was already a friend of the band's as well, especially Nathan. So we were already good mates. And actually, one of the tracks that is on the new album, me and Nathan wrote before I was in the band. So we were writing it together, and he was basically helping me through this writing process and teaching me some stuff about writing. And we were kind of bouncing ideas off each other in Devon. And then I went back to London, where I was living at the time, to actually record it for my own project. So I was recording it. And that night I was recording it, I got a phone call from Nathan, and he was like, oh, do you want to join the band? And he was kind of like, don't do anything with that song as well. So yeah, that's a pretty cool story for me. And that's how it all came about. And yeah, on to you, Vinnie.
Yeah, I think I joined the band at the same time as Dan Stevens, but me and Nathan, we've got a common friend. It's a Brazilian as well, and he's a pretty session musician in London, and he just referred me to Nathan, and I just did some videos, and he liked it, and and I joined the band.
Yeah.
It's really nice, to be honest.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So if you could sum up each band member in one word, what would that be?
Oh, this is exciting. I want to hear Vinnie's opinions. Right.
No pressure if you look at each other while saying this.
I know, we're winking at each other. So we got I say, wow, one word, okay. I guess for me, I don't know what it means to me, each member. So we've got Dan. He's like a big brother to me in the band. so brother, because that's 2 words, big brother. So we got brother. Phil, funny. He's just funny. He's just really funny. Like, thing about him is funny. So we got Phil is funny. Nathan, there's so many words you could describe him as, but I'd probably say like just powerhouse, you know, like the vocals and everything about him is just so, you know, striking and powerful. He's a big guy, he's got big vocals, you know. I'd probably, powerhouse. I guess that's 2 words, but oh well. And then we've got Vinnie. So, picking the right word while he's here as well. I think the biggest thing about Vinnie is, obviously everyone in the band is like talented, but I say he's sweet. He's one of the sweetest guys I know. So I'm going to say Vinnie is sweet. That's right, bro.
I'm picking the word for you now.
Yeah, Vinnie's going to throw all his insults out the window now.
Now, for me, actually, I don't know. It's a thing that I never thought before. But actually, I would say the same thing, because Phil is the funniest guy. All the time he's making, joking, laughing, you know. And yeah, Dan Stevens, he's like a serious guy, but at the same time it's really lovely guy, and it's nice to have a conversation. So I can't describe it. Everyone's like in one word, you know. It's difficult. Danny is a special boy. He's like,
he's saying that because I'm here. He's saying that because I'm here.
No, he's a special boy. He's so talented, so young, so sweet. I could say you were sweet because all the time you were a really calm person. You know, just like all the time you were really relaxed. So Nathan, yeah, probably he's the guy. He's the front man. He's the guy. The only thing that I can say, he's the guy. You know, he's really
Nathan, the guy, James.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think it's it. It's actually have no words to describe those guys, because everyone just like lovely persons. So yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So, do you have any interesting tour stories that you want to tell us about? Or short stories?
I don't know which ones we could say. To be fair, oh God, I'm just running through things in my head that I can't say. I'm trying to think of an interesting one that I can. I guess all the interesting ones are like a bit naughty. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, Vinnie. Do you know any? I can't think of any on the spot, really.
No.
There's some dirt hidden here.
There's some real good ones though. It's just the pressure of finding it right now. I can't think. If it comes back to me within the interview, I'll mention it. I can't think.
So how important is it for you guys to bounce off each other on stage and the audience, and how do you think that's going to differ playing smaller scale shows with like the guidelines in at the moment? How do you feel about all that?
I mean, I think on stage, like we all have a really close connection where we're always bouncing off each other. There's parts in the set where me and Dan and Vinnie were all like kind of, you know, rocking out together in the middle of the stage, or maybe Vinnie looks at Phil and he's rocking out with Phil, or me and Dan are rocking out, me and Nathan, you know, we're all kind of bouncing off each other all the time. And, you know, I think when those things happen on a stage, quite often between musicians, that you're in a band with your brothers, you know, you're playing stuff that you love and you're passionate about. I think when you're on stage and you have a connection with someone and you're bouncing off each other, of course the audience is important because it's the atmosphere of the room, but at the same time, it might not affect it as much as you'd think, because quite often when we have these connections on a stage, you're not thinking about what's happening elsewhere. You're just thinking about the music and the connection between who you're playing with. So I don't think it'll affect it massively in that sense, but in the sense that you're looking out and you're waiting for that atmosphere that you're used to, it might affect in that way. But I think all in all, music means so much to all the guys in the band, that we're just always going to perform our socks off, no matter what the venue or audience is saying in terms of numbers, etc. We've played tiny gigs in Europe, where we're not as known there. We've played tiny shows there and rocked as hard as we would, say, Shepherd's Bush Empire. So I think, to answer the question, music means so much to everyone in the band that we're just always going to give out 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what you'd say, but that's what I'd say.
Yeah, for me it's the same. Yeah, actually we've got an amazing connection on the stage, and I think people who was there watching us, actually they enjoyed as much as we are enjoying the show. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. I guess it's going to be kind of strange just getting used to that if you do any social distance shows before, like doing the live shows, I guess, like the live feed shows. It's just a little bit different doing it without an audience, or with a restricted audience that can't really stand up and get involved. And, I guess it's all just adapting to that kind of new way of living for now. So yeah,
absolutely. It's a different kind of thing, isn't it? It's a different game altogether. But like you say, we have to adapt and do what we can for now, while the times as they are.
Yeah. Right. I think that's all we have time for.
Nice.
Is there anything that you want to throw in there?
Those stories aren't coming back to me, not the PG ones anyway. So yeah, maybe another time.
That's fair enough. You'll have to tell me at Heretic when no one else is listening.
That's it. Right. Deal.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and I will see you soon.
No problem. See you soon. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye.